on that point, a couple of weeks ago, Romeo, you what I would call rage quit from social media, and rightly so. I mean, Facebook is quite the echo chamber, and there's a lot of people that like to take pot shots at anyone who expresses any view on social media. That's the nature of social media. Why did you have enough of it, and why did you come back eventually to Facebook?
Quite honestly, I sat with my wife, and she said to me, Romeo, I'm losing you, because I was so focused on helping every single person that asked for help. And that took time. I'd do a post and then I'd get messages on Messenger. And it just became too much.
Yeah.
As many as I helped, there was still hundreds more. And we sat down in the backyard, and my wife said to me, I'm losing you. I said, what do you want me to do? She said, you need to figure out a way where you can help, but not take you away from me and the children. You can save Australia and lose me and the kids. What have you achieved? I shut it down, that right then. Then my wife, knowing the man I am, said to me, is there a way that you can go back and try to focus and not try to help every single person? I said, I can go back but not re-engage with Messenger. Do my thing, get my message across, and anybody that wants help can just say, you know, put their number up on Facebook, not Messenger, because it got to a point where I was getting 70 messages a night.
Jesus.
I'd go to bed, wake up, and there was 70 messages.
Wow.
So basically, I said to my wife, I'm not going back if I don't have your support. You are the reason why I'm doing this. The children are the reason why. And if you don't believe that this is a good thing for our family, I'll walk away. She goes, no, it is a good thing, but I just don't want to lose you. I said, okay. So I reactivated Facebook, but left Messenger. But let all my supporters know that if you need me, just message me on Facebook and I will reach out to you. Because some messages weren't, I'll be honest, some messages weren't for help. That was like at 2 o'clock, what are you up to?
Yeah.
I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them are great, and most of them weren't my supporters. These were people that were just bored. Well, I'm not here to entertain you. I mean, I do a bit of comedy. We have some fun, we have some laughs, because in the saying, I say it continually, if we don't laugh, we're going to cry. But at the end of the day, I'm here to inform you of exactly what is happening. You know, and that's why I went back with the blessing of my wife and my family. Because I'm not going to lie, what is the point of a man losing the one woman that he loves I mean, I'd rather die for Australia. That's the truth. I'd rather physically die in combat than to continue my life saving a nation without the one person that believed in me before everybody else. Because if I'm dead, I'm gone. But I have to deal with the situation of I've lost the most valuable thing that I have been given in my life, because I concentrated on helping everybody else except the person that believed in me before everybody else.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
I actually followed that very closely when you were going through that, and you know, we sent a few messages to each other, and I was completely understanding and supportive, as you can imagine. And I did say that yes, I totally respect Romeo's decision to do that. I mean,
thank you. I saw that. Yeah.
But there was a thing where I said, now allow me to be a bit arrogant for a second, because I'm only 23. What the hell do I know about the world? He's going to come back eventually. I don't know if it's within the month or within a couple of years, but he's going to come back, because the reality is this problem's not going away. And I hear it, and I'm sure you guys get very frustrated about this. I hear it time and time again. I can't speak up. I've got to take care of my family. I can't speak up. I don't want to lose my job. I can't speak up because I'll lose all my friends. Get new friends. Find a new company. You know, where's your sense of adventure? Now, I knew that Romeo was going to come back, and if he didn't come back, that was great. That was fine, you know, more power to him. But I recognize that these problems, they're not going to go away. And as Riccardo alluded to, they're going to come for your kids. I was just reading this week a story about a child, a 16-year-old boy in America, and the social institutions there, the schools, they weren't communicating with the parents, and they were pumping this kid full of drugs to change his gender. They were doing experimental gender changing surgeries on him. Who's going to stop that? When you seed the ground, they will seize the ground. And maybe this goes back to, this is testimony to how strong your marriage is, and Riccardo's, because I've met Rio, your wife, as well. I think that one of the big, powerful things that we've seen in ethnic communities, especially in Australia, is the importance of the family unit. Now, Riccardo, you've often talked about this problem of the family unit being assaulted. How important is it to the success of your mission in what you're trying to achieve? Because you mentioned multiple different facets of this battle, not just the political.
It's critical. What we need every Australian to do is to realise that their children and grandchildren are at risk. They have to do this for the kids. That's the motivator, that's the why. Because they are coming for your children. They've already done it by subterfuge with the alleged Safe Schools program, which was designed by a communist transgender individual who admitted publicly that it had nothing to do with that issue, but about power and communism and control and expanding sexuality to include pedophilia. And it's publicly said that, and every Australian needs to look at their kids and say, am I willing to hand my children over to somebody else? Well, it's already happened in Victoria and in New South Wales. The state can, without the parents' consent, interfere with the child's sense of gender identity. Right now, legislation, it's there. I've spoken about it before. Have a look at it. This is not conspiracy theory, this is fact. So back to your point, it's all about the kids, it's all about the family, and Romeo's exactly right. Save the country but lose your family, fail. Save your family but lose the country, fail. You've got to do both. But the family is the driving force, the why, the purpose behind everything that we do. We've pulled both our kids out of school and we're homeschooling. Now, I know it's tough, folks, but I've got a disabled wife and we're homeschooling as well, and we're trying to start a party. So, you know, we sleep between 2 and 3 in the morning. Other than that, we're working. Wow. You're a long time dead. I'm not gonna die well rested, let's say. I've got plenty of time to sleep after I pass. But every Australian has to look at their kids and say, you are mine, because by stealth they are being stolen. The most recent one about the kids in the US, they're introducing masturbation lessons for kids under 4. That's coming to Australia. And you don't have to question me, check it out for yourself. Don't believe a word I say. Please check it out for yourself. It's coming, it's already here. You know, Victorians are, we said earlier, I'd like to ask the Victorians, how are you enjoying your user trial of your 1 month free totalitarianism under Comrade Dan? What he's doing is illegal. It's just illegal. There's no other word for it. He has no lawful authority to do what he's doing, and yet Victorians are quietly sitting there hoping not to be disturbed. On the upside though, just so we're aware, we don't need everybody, we just need enough. And I've mentioned this number before and it's true. George Washington, when he led the Continental Army against the greatest superpower of his day, the British Empire, he only had 20% support of the American population. So 80% were reporting his movements to the bad guys. That was enough. We only need enough. 20% is what he needed. We don't need everybody, but we need enough to say, you know what, it's time. Now, everyone has a different role to play. Some are up front, some are the tip of the spear. But just like in any war, for every combat soldier, you've got multiple people behind making it happen. So you've got the shooters at the front line, and that's great. You need them, but you need supporters at the back. So everybody has a role to play, according to your ability, according to your capacity. But understand this, and Romeo mentioned it earlier, it's called social proof. The moment we see one person do it, we know it can be done. And that social proof then gives us the permission almost to try it ourselves. Let me give you an example. The 4-minute mile, this is a famous story. The 4-minute mile was decreed by the scientists as being impossible to break. You cannot run a mile in under 4 minutes. The body is physically incapable of handling it. It'll fall apart. It'll die. It'll explode. It's a nonsense that the alleged scientists and experts of their day said. Well, guess what? A couple of people, the first man ran it and broke the 4-minute mile. Within 12 months, several others had done exactly the same thing. Now, why? Because they knew it was possible. So what we are doing and what you are doing is telling people it is possible. We can do this. And as we said before the interview started, I am absolutely certain of the final outcome. I really am. We will win and they will lose. And some will hang for just pure treason and sedition. Old school, with a rope, no injections. Because when the people find out exactly what's being done to them, utterly illegally, without any constitutional basis, without any basis in law, when they find out what's happening, we'll have to hold them back. But it's all about the family. It's about protect your family. That family unit's got to be solid. And we have to do both. We've got to save our families, use them as the motivation, and we have to save the country. That's what's required of us. And we can do it. We can do this. We can.